Hey everyone, Red Christmas is the 2017 horror independent film starring Dee Wallace, and it's all over the trailers and even produced by Dee Wallace. And honestly, I'm shocked because she's so much better than this movie. In fact, she's the only good thing about this movie. It's sad, you know. I've noticed so many things in this movie, and it should definitely get an award for worst trailer ever made. Shown in this video, it's horrible. I don't think I've ever said this about any film, but the cinematography is just really pretentious. If you got shots in the trailer where it's like something that's like totally random, it's just to display a certain shot because you think it's good. Like, whenever the blood falls on the cell phone, I'm like, hey. It's like, wee, look at me. Yeah. It's like when at your birthday or something, someone brings you a present, and then the next person gives you a much bigger present, and the next one gives you a much bigger present and bigger present to try to be like outdo everyone else or whatever. That's what this feels like, honestly. But your horror fan inside you will like the kills. They're graphic and bloody, and some of them are pretty unique. I mean, from what I've seen, and even though they are very extreme, they feel unrealistic, but it's fun to look at. And even going into knowing this film is bad, the actress Dee Wallace, she still gives her all. Like, she doesn't half-ass it, like the director, per se. She goes for it every time. Like, she's really good. She's in Cujo, had the Halloween remake, holiday Hallmark films. She's really good, and it's a shame that she's this underrated, honestly. I think she's really just as good as Jamie Lee Curtis. But Dee Wallace, she's really gifted, and she shows more promise in the movie itself. I mean, it's true. It really just overshadows everything. I'm not saying that in a bad way for Dee Wallace. Being out of someone's league, she's out of this film's league. There is only a few scenes that she does seem to overdo it, but the moment causes for it, as extreme as everything is, and I'm sure the director probably had asked her to do this. It fits perfectly for this movie. Overall, she's very subtle in her performances and genuine. But this movie does start off as your typical holiday film, with families, everything getting together and all, the snow falling down and all. But really, there's no snow in this. The atmosphere is completely wrong. It's supposed to be winter. All of the leaves are on the trees and green as can be. And you could say Halloween 1978 had the same issue with it being Halloween and still having it look like springtime, because it was. You can kind of forgive that, but for winter. And as far as the killer's costume, it reminds me more of Emperor Palpatine, honestly. It's more laughable than scary. They try to make the killer sympathetic to the audience, but all it really does is make them less intimidating. And that's never good. And also, the killer is very difficult to understand. Now I know how y'all feel when y'all watch my reviews. The backstory is a simple, straightforward mistake that leads up to a whole lot of gruesomeness. And that's really all it was, just to get to point A to B, get this movie going, and people deadened. The movie is honestly laughably bad. The story's takeaway wasn't presented well. I didn't really feel like there was a moral, really, like it was trying to have, accepting what gifts you've been bestowed or whatever. I guess the moral is basically saying, if you don't accept your blessings, you're gonna end up with a curse. You can tell throughout the director desperately tries to make this story empathetic as it can be for a horror film, and it's just like everything else, overdone. Christmas lights flickering on and everything, but the whole frame is in green and red, and it gets overbearing at times. The scenes, execution with the slow motion crying and the slow Christmas jingles playing. But it's worth watching if you're bored or you're looking for a different Christmas holiday film, that's horror. I mean, because they're always fun. It's not just your typical horror. It's on Peacock right now, along with Better Watch Out. That's my review for Red Christmas, not Black Christmas. So what's your thoughts of it? Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.